Yame, yame, unkapa, yame, ya, listeners. Prepare to sling across the city as we deliver some piping hot pizzas, folks. Today, we're here to talk about 2004 PlayStation hit, Spider-Man 2. This is the Everything is Fine, Nothing is Ruined podcast. I'm your host, Hassan. As always, joined by co-host Tristan.
That's me. Hi. Yeah.
And Tristan, this is your topic, so let's get right into it.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we're going to start with the delivering pizza mini game while, you know, it plays Funicula the entire time. So how do you want to start with that? You know?
Okay. Well, we're starting with the pizza mini game. Really? That's where you want to start with Spider-Man 2?
Yeah, like that's the core part of the game.
It's not. It really isn't. The core part is like you're Spider-Man. You're beating bad guys up, and
you're delivering pizza while this like chintzy version of Funicula plays over and over and over.
No, that's not the only way to. No, not quite.
It's like 90% of that game.
It really isn't.
Yeah, no, it is. It's totally like that's the point of the game. That's what everyone loved about it.
No, 90% of that game is actually like climbing up the Eiffel Tower and flinging yourself off of it.
Look, obviously there's the stuff that you do for fun. I'm talking about the like actual core, you know, game that the missions and forces you doing that. You know.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. In Spider-Man 2, the movie, the game, there's a really great boss battle with Mysterio, where he loads up like 7 health bars and you kick him in the face once, saying dies.
I don't remember that. Was there any pizza involved in it?
It was in a bodega, so yes, it could have been.
Well, Mr. Aziz's spa is not in a bodega.
Well, then it's not that.
Okay, well, yeah, but then let's get back to the important Spider-Man 2 stuff.
Yeah, okay. Also, I think we're missing on the correct Spider-Man 2 here. Let's check my notes. Oh, you know what? They made another Spider-Man 2.
Oh, like they did like a remaster or something? I didn't realize. That's great.
No,
so
they did another Spider-Man 2. It's technically called Marvel's Spider-Man 2.
Oh, okay. Well, how's the like pizza delivery minigame with Funicula in it?
Well, you're not going to be impressed by this. It's not there. Yeah.
I don't.
So
we're talking about different game. What is this game we're talking about?
So Spider-Man 2.
Great. So it's got a pizza delivery minigame with Funicula playing.
I'm so sorry. It does not. No.
I don't. You're saying words, but they don't really. They don't make sense. It's like someone saying 2 plus 2 equals strawberry.
It's because you're in denial. Anyway, yeah. There's no Funicula in Insomniac's Marvel's Spider-Man 2.
And you're sure this is called Spider-Man 2?
I am very sure. Yes.
Okay. Do you have a phone number for them? Because I don't know. I think we need to talk. Well, call them up and, obviously tell them that they've done something wrong.
I don't think they've done anything wrong necessarily. I mean, like, I haven't even changed the thing. There we go. They haven't really done anything wrong. They just made another game that Marvel also owns the rights to.
Yeah, but it's called Spider-Man 2.
It is, yes, it is.
So it should have a pizza delivery minigame where Funicula plays.
It doesn't, no.
Yeah, see, this is why I need to talk to them. They made a huge mistake.
I see. This is
I don't
more
think
of
I understand the core concept of Spider-Man, the character.
I understand where you're coming from. I feel like this may be more of a personal crusade than anything.
I don't look when you ask people about. You go on the street, you ask somebody, what are the 3 things you think about Spider-Man? It's pizza.
Pizza.
It's Funicula.
Yeah.
And it's a people won't shut up. There was that one movie where Marissa Tomei was his aunt, and they kept going, "Oh my God, she's so hot! It's unbelievable, she's his aunt."
I mean, like Marissa Tomei is pretty good looking, so
well, plastic surgery will do that.
That's true. Also, the balloon kids in that game, so you know. Oh no, my balloon! You gotta like go get the balloon for the kid.
I heard Bloom Kids. I was like, what is Bloom Kids?
Bloom Kids. No, the Balloon Kid. Balloon Kid. The Balloon Kid is, you also shoot his balloon and pop it instead.
Hell yeah. Screw that kid.
Yeah, because, like, you know, how Spider-Man be popping balloons. No, unfortunately, again, we are here to talk about Insomniac's Marvel's Spider-Man 2.
Wait, is that what it's actually called?
No, it is technically called Marvel's Spider-Man 2, and not just Spider-Man 2. Even though I just have it as Spider-Man 2 in the title card.
To be fair, I at least appreciate they kind of differentiated it from Spider-Man 2 so that you have some way to be like, unlike like Resident Evil 4, right? There's Resident Evil 4 from, I think that was like 2004, 2005.
Yep.
But then there's also, I think last year, 2024, 2023, whatever it was, Resident Evil 4. Mm-hmm. So I at least appreciate they have something there, so you could say, oh, there's Spider-Man 2 and there's Marvel's Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, that Resident Evil 4 was a direct sequel. It was a direct remake of Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
But with some caveats. There's some different stuff on there. Definitely not as campy as the first game is. Just really unfortunate. But anyway, we're not here to talk about Resident Evil 4.
The amount of Little Lord Fauntleroy in that game. That's all I'm saying.
Not enough at all.
But yes, we're here to talk about
Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2.
Marvel's Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, I don't know what year it came out. I'm going to guess like
2023.
3? Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Fairly new. I only played it in like January-ish, I believe. So yeah.
Go on.
Yeah. Well, basically, Spider-Man 2. Now, this game is divisive because it's a direct sequel to Spider-Man, Marvel's Spider-Man, which was a game that people, if you look online and look at like Steam per se and other review avenues, it is a very beloved game, and it is notably not without fault. It has a lot of mini games and forced stealth sections. And if you want to do things like unlock the Spider-Man suits for your, perusal and enjoyment, you need to get like perfects on some of these mini games as Spider-Man, and there's one specific Taskmaster race in the first game, and he said,
I'm sorry, Taskmaster race?
Yeah,
like,
let me put this out there. Taskmaster has 3 things for you to do, and that is either do these like drone races, like where you actually race against a drone to try and like grab its like nodes it's putting, its spy bots it's putting down, to grab those and then like get it to the it's just a checkpoint race. That's all it really is, but you're following a drone. The second one is like a stealth thing, like a timed stealth thing where to be like really quick and the stealth. And the third one is just like, hey, it's timed, it to be fast in melee.
Just be clear, we're talking about the actual villain, Taskmaster.
Yes. Absolutely, yes.
The guy who has done a lot of killing.
A lot of killing, yes.
It's just in between it, he just sets up like, I'm just going to create a fun little parkour race for Spider-Man in my downtime.
Yep, that's what he does in the first game.
Okay, great. No further questions. Move on.
All right, cool. He's not in the second game. Yeah.
Too busy killing this time.
Now there aren't any like checkpoint races or anything like that. They got rid of a lot of that stuff, but they replaced it with stuff that is definitely not as good.
Yeah, so
I yearn for kind of a crappy checkpoint race.
Well, we talked about it last episode with the Dragon Age and Final Fantasy 16 thing, where middling MIDI games obviously have their it's the same as we open, right? Like, as much as they sucked, some of the most memorable things about the 2004 Spider-Man 2 were how many of those pizza delivery things were. Like,
there's a lot.
There is a place for mini games in big AAA video games to break it up, because without it, it's like, okay, what are you doing? You go around the city, you fight guys, that's it. Yep. Like, that's going to be boring. Yeah. I was going to say, I have played neither of these games, largely because they were initially PlayStation console exclusives. They did come to PC, but I think by the time the first Spider-Man game came to PC, the second one was already out or was coming out soon. I can't remember what it was, and
it's sort of like that, yeah, roughly.
Yeah, and I remember thinking, oh, you know what? Maybe I will pick up that first game. Yeah. Maybe I was waiting for it to get cheap. I forget what it was, but I haven't picked it up yet. And then started to hear some stuff about Spider-Man 2. And I think the most damning thing that made me go, actually, I don't think I want to play these, was hearing about how in Spider-Man 2, they basically have like boosters, for lack of a better term, like sort of rings that you would go through, and it would just sort of boost you. So it's like, oh yeah, so you don't have to spend like as much time slinging about and doing stuff. It's like, what? I'm sorry, like, that's the number one thing I want to do in a Spider-Man game is just have good swinging around. So if you're telling me, oh, we figured out a way so that you don't have to bother doing that anymore, it's like, oh, I don't think I want to play this if the main selling point of this game is you get to do less of the thing you actually like.
But Hassan, what if instead of... Okay. Here's what you're thinking. You think those boosters are for your web swinging? That's cute. They're actually for the wingsuit you also have.
Right, yeah. No, that goes in. And like, it was hearing that stuff, and I was like, oh, no, I can see how a AAA game studio gets there.
Yep.
But that's not what I want.
I will point this out. The traversal in Spider-Man 2 is a lot of fun because you have the two options of web slinging and wingsuiting, and you can mix and match them, and it kind of lends to a fun take on how Spider-Man's can operate. You have two of them. You have Miles and Peter. However, the issue here is that there are air tunnels. Like, of course, there are like little pockets of like vents you can like hit with the wingsuit and go up higher. But there are air tunnels that will suck you in, and you can just kind of follow that and basically get around the city much faster. And that's kind of a cool idea. However, look, Spider-Man's not much of a wingsuit guy. Like, there are issues where he does kind of like glide in the comics, that kind of stuff. But these are few and far between, and people want to see him swing on a web. You don't want Spider-Man just to fucking wingsuit everywhere. And you can literally, if you wanted to, just get rid of the web slinging in this game if you really, really, really wanted to. There are options where you can just get around with wingsuiting. And I mean, like, if that's how you want to play, yeah, sure, but that's just not Spider-Man. I mean, I don't know. So the traversal is a lot of fun, but it's misguided in the way... Oh, that's hilarious. It's misguided in the way it's implemented. There are wingsuit explicit missions, so you must get good at the wingsuit. And I gotta say, while they can be frustrating, they are pretty fun.
And that's definitely the thing I heard of people is that people who were critical of them moving away from the web slinging was that, yeah, the thing I want to do is web slinging, but the wingsuit is still fun.
Yes.
The thing that they replaced it with is still enjoyable, but still feels like you're kind of hollowing it out a little bit.
I kind of feel what they originally had wanted to make was an Iron Man game. Because there are missions where you're trying to like follow and like hack these drones that Kraven the Hunter has set out. And to do so, you have to kind of like stay in their draft zone and follow them around. And basically you hack them that way. And the entire time you're like wingsuit out, like the arms back, like flying around, following the drone. And you have to like stay within its air tunnel. And it'll shoot at you. You have to like dodge and all this kind of stuff. And as I'm playing this, I'm kind of like, man, this would be a pretty cool Iron Man mission. But you know what this game isn't? Fucking Iron Man.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if at some point they had because was Miles in the first game as a playable character? I don't think so, right?
Sort of. So, the first game had a crap ton of forced stealth sections, and Miles is only playable in those forced stealth sections as a civilian stealth.
Yeah.
Because that's before he gets the powers, and he gets his powers by the end of the first game.
But what I was going to say then, because I knew he was in the first game, but I didn't think he was playable as a Spider-Man kind of thing.
No, he isn't. No.
I wouldn't be shocked if, at some point they had thought, hey, maybe in the second game it's going to be a Spider-Man with some Iron Man in there, and that they might have genuinely done created like gameplay, tested it, etc., and gone, we decided actually we're not going to go down the Iron Man route, and hey, actually here's a way we can slot this into a Spider-Man game. It wouldn't shock me. I mean, I think a lot of what I've heard about this game, it ends up being very easy to sort of hindsight, retroactively look at and say, here are the problems. Thanks to that leak that happened, and in particular, there was some sort of I forget if it was like on a PowerPoint or if it was some other document or something where they talked about how like the first Insomniac Spider-Man game cost, and I'm pulling numbers out of sort of vague recollection, so I'm sure they're wildly off, but I think it was like, the first Spider-Man game cost $150 million to make.
Yeah, sure.
Their second one cost $250 million to make, and that somebody basically posed a question of like, does anyone feel like that extra $100 million actually made a difference? Like, does anyone feel, hey, this is a noticeably better game. This looks $100 million better, or there's $100 million more gameplay and content here, and kind of basically saying like, it sure does seem like we spent a lot of money, threw a lot of stuff at this thing, and didn't actually make the game better as a result.
Yeah, so, okay. One of the things this game touts is that the map for this game is twice as big as this one in Spider-Man 1. Because you have Brooklyn, right? That's the reason why it's so much bigger. No. Here's the thing. You have Manhattan Island, like you did in the first game. And then on the east of this whole thing, you have a sliver of Brooklyn. Not all of Brooklyn. You can't go like deep into Queens or anything. But just enough. Just a little bit of Queens. Enough to be like a suburb. That's there. But if you look at the map, the reason why this game is twice as big as the first one is because there's these large stretches of water in the New York harbor. And these big stretches of water are meant for you to kind of like... So you're not going to cross them unless you use the wingsuit or take the bridge.
What about if I want to take the train?
You can't take the train anymore.
Oh.
Yeah, the train's not an option anymore. They technically did away with the train in the remastered version. You had to actually turn on the train if you do the... Yeah, in the remastered version, if you want to have the train cutscenes play when you fast travel, you have to manually activate those, and it takes a bit longer to load the game because it wants to play you the in-train.
All right. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but...
Yeah, it made sense in the PS4 because longer load
Insomniac,
times.
why do you hate public transit? Why are you trying to push your car agenda on us?
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's an option, I guess. But yeah, so like that's gone. And now the good news though, I will point out where that is gone, it has been replaced with like instant drop technology. So they basically are using whatever they did with Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart to basically be like, okay, if you're in Harlem and you want to go to Midtown, instant teleportation. Like it doesn't take it takes like 10 seconds.
Spider-Man doesn't have teleportation abilities.
I understand that, but it cuts in. It's okay. Don't worry about it. It'll like basically it'll zoom in on the scene. It'll place Spidey in a spot where it can load him properly, and you go. It's like
no, Tris. I think I can see how you would be confused because they're both very crawling. That you're thinking Nightcrawler. He's the one that teleports around.
I understand what you're saying, and you are correct. Nightcrawler does teleport around. What I am saying though is that in this game you have a concession to teleport via fast travel video game bullshit. I understand that Nightcrawler can just do that. And honestly, if this game is about Nightcrawler, I'd be more willing to accept that. But, we are here, and unfortunately, Nightcrawler does not have his own video game. Despite being Spider-Man for like a little bit.
I forgot that happened.
Yeah, in the Krakoan era.
Oh, right. Yeah.
In the Krakoan era, he was on the lam, and he's like, I'm just going to go to New York and be Spidey for a second.
Which is real dumb. Because you're like, buddy, you have a tail.
He just wrapped it around himself. It's fine. It's not hard to hide that. It's a very thin tail.
I guess it feels like you didn't think that you didn't think people noticed. Like, when did Spider-Man? Do spiders have tails? I don't think they do. That's weird.
I don't know. Have you ever seen a spider up close? Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. So that was the thing that happened. Anyway, so the traversal of this game is like the fast travel. Let's be back on that topic. Is really good. And it also works very similarly when you are changing over between Peter and Miles, because this is Spider-Man 2, which essentially should just been called Spider-Man, because that is the current title for both those characters in the same book. I will also point out that this is technically not the second Spider-Man game in this series. Insomniac made Spider-Man Miles Morales as well. So that's a thing. Yeah. So, the good news here is that if you want Spider-Man stuff to happen, you want Spidey to swing on a web, punch a bunch of bad guys, and like very like aerial acrobatic maneuvers, etc. It's here for you. He shoots webs. He has a bunch of gadgets he can like fire out and like trap guys in more webs or like gravity beams and that kind of stuff. And
sorry, what?
Yeah, in the first game he has an anti-gravity field he can generate via a small like spider bot. Yeah. And
okay, hold up.
Lifts guys in the air. You gotta kick him.
Hold up.
Yeah. What?
Hold up.
Yeah. Go on.
Peter Parker.
Yes.
Has figured out anti-gravity technology.
He is a genius, yes.
And he's poor.
He's poor, yes. He is
anti-gravity technology.
Yep, makes no sense. I agree.
Okay. Yep. Go on.
Yep.
Fine.
It's never made sense. Even when he was in like what was it called? He was part. It's not the Future Foundation, but he was part of a conglomerate of tech-minded individuals, and he was given like a blank check and carte blanche to make things for the world do better. And he got there and royally fucked up that job. Even though they let him like do whatever, and he was doing pretty well with it. Actually, no, technically it wasn't him that fucked it up. It was the fact that Peter Parker died and was replaced with Peter Parker with Otto Octavius inside of him as the superior Spider-Man. That was the whole thing. And then he fucked up the job because he was too malicious in the technology he was creating, and then it was a whole thing. Anyway, this game basically has it's got some stuff happening. Speaking of the technology side of things and like weird foundations, that kind of thing, the main plot of this game is that Harry Osborn comes back from a long sabbatical. And that sabbatical is due to the fact that his health is failing him. He has to walk with a cane now. And he's like, I'm finally back, Pete. I'm going to... Here's the thing. Let's go break into our high school so we can relive this memory we had. And I can show you this cool thing I want to show you. And so they do that. And you relive the memory of them as high school kids. And you have to sneak around as Peter to get past the janitor and stuff. But like you're still Spider-Man at that time. So yeah. It's kind of like a weird tutorial section, but by this for like stealth. But by this point, you've already done stealth missions. I don't know what they're doing. Anyway, so this is like an okay section of the game. It's fun enough. Yeah, I get it. But by the end of this, Harry has created a new foundation called the Elizabeth May Foundation. Because his mom was Elizabeth Osborn, who was a philanthropist, and Aunt May, May Parker, was also kind of a philanthropist, like caregiver. She did a lot of charity work with Feast and all this stuff, and she dies in the first game, like just like dies of a plague that's happening in the first game. So after she dies, and Peter's very sad about that, and Norman gives him like the idea of like, hey, let's partner up. I'll show you the new foundation, the Elizabeth May Foundation that I want you to join, and like tell me from there. And look, here's the stuff we do. We have this cool e-bike thing happening. We have bee drones. We're trying to save the bees that way somehow. We have a bunch of chemistry, biochemistry enhancements we do to plants. And there's one more. And I can't remember what it was.
I'm just sitting here wondering how Canadian Elizabeth May feels about all this. Just like, no, I get it. It's just a coincidence, but it's a very weird coincidence. It's called the Elizabeth May Foundation, and it's very,
I don't know if she knows,
for left leaning. She said that. I was like, no, it can't be it. Oh, it is it.
No, it can't be it. Anyway, so all the things I described to you are mini games you get to play as Spider-Man, specifically Peter Parker, when you go out and do things in the greater world. And these fucking suck.
Oh.
These are either like just basic puzzles that are thankfully a little bit better than the ones they did in the first game, but by better I mean easier, so you can just get through them. The biological chemistry stuff. The other one, which is the bee drones, that's just tedium. You fly around as a bee drone. You shoot at other like wasps and rats and stuff. And then eventually the bee drone gets like taken by thugs. It's a whole thing. You gotta stop them. I don't know, whatever. And then the worst one is the fucking e-bike, which only has one minigame, which is where you ride this e-bike through Central Park, and you're doing ramps and that kind of stuff. And eventually it turns out you're on a timer because the e-bike is going to explode.
What?
Yeah, it's faulty. So, and it's going for its first
Just
like
get off
test.
the e-bike.
Yes, right? Or because it's going to explode. Okay, supposedly it's going to explode in such a horrible radius, it might cause an EMP / like will kill people in the entirety of Central Park. I agree.
What?
Overcharged,
What?
at least.
What, like you put a fusion reactor in your e-bike? What were you thinking,
yes.
Harry?
I don't know. Anyway,
It's kind of believable.
It's kind of believable. The point of all this is that this minigame where you are on this e-bike, at some point it's going to explode. And Spider-Man doesn't... Okay, if you were Spider-Man and this e-bike is going to explode, and you devise a solution on how to solve the problem, would you A, just get off? Again, remember, you're Spider-Man. Would you A, just get off the e-bike and let it blow up? B, sling it into the harbor? C, ride it to its destination and then go to the charging station and hopefully that fixes it? Or D, do the charging station but as Spider-Man, like web sling there, which is faster than the e-bike.
Harbor.
Harbor? Sure.
Water is real good at absorbing explosions.
Great option. I agree entirely. And I will point out, Central Park, part of Manhattan Island, and hey, this thing's gonna blow up. Fire it into the fucking ocean. Great option. No, what you have to choose, what you're forced to choose, is option C, which is ride the e-bike to its destination as Peter Parker under the extraneous time limit, and hopefully you don't die. And when you get there, it's just the problem is magically fixed because he gets there, like, whew, got there in time. We're going to put that in the charging station and let the Foundation know this needs to be fixed. And why? Why did that happen? That had no bearing on nothing at all, except for you get to unlock a suit.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. Now, the other kicks in the pants is that there are other mini games and side missions, and majority of them can go to... the side missions can go to either Peter Parker or Miles Morales. Either two. Doesn't matter. You can complete them as whichever Spider-Man you like. Now, I will point out there's one that is a crossover from the first game, which includes Howard and his pigeons, which I forgot wasn't a Peter Parker, or wasn't a Miles Morales character. He was a Peter Parker one from the first game. And I kind of did it with Miles. I was like, oh, right. Oh, yeah. Howard had his whole thing with Pete. Oops. Oh, well. Howard dies, by the way. I don't mind spoiling anything here.
I don't know Howard, so I don't care.
Yeah, he's a homeless guy who owns pigeons, and he's like, take my pigeons to the north of New York and let him lead a good life. It's like, yeah, cool, all right. And then you get back to where Howard was, and like, your pigeons are fine, Howard. And he's like, he's fucking dead. The ambulance is just like, he's dead, Spidey. And Spider-Man's like, oh no, I'm sad. And like, oh, take all the time you need, Spider-Man. And that's the end of that. That's it. It's just they just leave that fucking go. It's got a nice little song when you do the yeah.
What song, Tristan?
It's like a Wing and a Prayer or something like that. I can't remember the name of the song. It's like a classic like R&B pop song kind of thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
We were real close to delivery, got a song,
No. Sorry. I know. It's not. There's no pizza delivery in this game, Hassan. Nor in the previous
Not real New York.
I agree. New Yorkers love their pizza. But not in this New York. In this New York, New Yorkers hate pizza. I assume. At no point is anybody eating pizza. which I think is probably a crime. I think you have to eat pizza once every day in New York.
Yeah,
I assume
my
it's a law.
understanding.
Anyway. Yeah, so that's one of the side missions. But the other side missions usually include, like, okay, you have to kind of use the Amazing Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man app, the FNSM app that was it's in the Miles Morales game. So he did this thing where, in order to try and help him like get better at being Spider-Man, he developed an app, or at least he had his friend Genki develop him an app that let people tap into it and ask Spidey for help. It's a bit contrived, but it works well enough in that game.
And the authorities just never think to check who the app is registered to figure out who Spider-Man is.
Authorities typically use it. Ask Spidey for help.
Just,
yeah,
it does take a genius to figure out, oh, okay, this app's literally registered to this person.
Yep, I know.
So clearly, hey, now we know who Spider-Man is.
So it is mentioned that in the Miles Morales game that Genki does register it under like a anonymous kind of thing, and he's like a deep web hacker in this version.
Okay, but then it would be on like an app store, so no one would use it.
Apparently, it's on an app store. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Anyway, all of these side missions are social missions that you do to help people in need. However, none of them are kind of like, oh shit, Terry got goddamn captured, and we need you to go save him, Spider-Man. You gotta go and fucking fight. You gotta go fight Rhino. You gotta go fight Tombstone, etc. There's none of that. No, none of that at all. Instead, what is happening is, like, these are missions that are like, okay, hey, someone vandalized this guy's flower shop. Oh no, but this other person came by and, like, you know, they spray painted a bunch of of nastiness in the flower shop. This other person came by and she's like created some beautiful art over top of the nastiness. And you get there, and it turns out it's your soon-to-be girlfriend Haley, if you're Miles, who is deaf, and she tells you the story through sign language because Miles knows sign language, and basically, like, she's also a graffiti artist, and so, like, she's going around this little, like, block and just fixing this guy's mistakes, and she turns out this guy just is bad at graffiti and not a racist or anything. Just, he's trying to be a cool graffiti artist, but it just sucks at it. So she her? I think them? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Their gender doesn't matter at all. Anyway, she shows them that how to be a better graffiti artist. And that's great. But this is the stuff that Spider-Man is doing for the most part in this game. Is that shit. At one point,
weird.
Yeah, at one point you need to get this gay Indian kid to confess his love, ask his black crush to the homecoming dance, and like you do so by going around the academy and activating switches for him to try and like give him this extravagant way of confessing his homecoming intentions to his, I believe, current boyfriend. So yeah, I don't know. It's just like, okay, this is the kind of stuff that is happening in these games, and it is all side content, and it is not made for me in the slightest. This is definitely for like, hey, if you are a younger adult or a younger kid and playing these games, I think this is the content that they would like. However, in a video game where you play as Spider-Man, they seem to really have locked on to Spider-Man is for the people.
Well, what I was going to say is it sounds like a lot of it would have would make sense in a God, I hate the naming convention, but a Spider-Man Miles Morales like bridging sort of game where
it does.
You're not necessarily making that game to specifically try and kind of like progress the plot and the world and what have you.
Exactly.
And so giving you these kind of like not villain combat focused stuff.
Yeah.
And kind of showing you other sides of a Spider-Man makes sense, but that putting a bunch of that in the main game, it ends up being too much of a distraction, too much of a... Exactly. No, I get it. Spider-Man's a man of the people, but I'm kind of here to, like, kick dudes while swinging around and...
Exactly, yeah.
Deliver pizzas.
I think it's because, okay, the really viral stuff about Spider-Man, like the stuff that gets big and like shared around like Twitter and Blue Sky and whatever, TikTok, etc. The version of Spider-Man you see there is Spidey who comes down from the web and talks to a kid who is having a hard time at school. He talks to the guy with Alzheimer's. You actually do help a guy with Alzheimer's in this game. That kind of stuff. Those things are what Spider-Man does in these very viral instances. And there are, like, these are good in the comic, for sure. Like, these are unique takes on Spidey and going like, hey, Spider-Man is a person. He is from New York. He's a New Yorker. When New Yorkers are in trouble, no matter what, he puts down what he is doing and helps them. And, like, that is Spidey. And that makes sense. Like, Spider-Man is a character who wants to get out there and do the right thing. And this game understands that. But it shoves it really very much in your face, as these are the only Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man missions that get shown. Whereas in the Miles Morales game, there was a healthy smattering of, like, these more, like, social missions. And then some stuff with a little bit of action. And, like, this is also interspersed with everything else that Miles and Peter are doing, which are other puzzles within the open world to solve things to unlock other suits for them, and upgrades, etc. And so, like, Miles has these, like, prowler hubs and these prowler caves, essentially, where you can unlock them via, like, different telemetrics and flicking the right switches and that kind of thing, and those are okay. And the other thing they both share is catching these spider bots from, like, the Into the Spider-Verse universe. And if you get all of them, you can go to this location and, like, a portal of, like, across the Spider-Verse, like, opens up, and, like, the bartender there is like, hey, thanks, Spidey, appreciate it, we'll see you some other time, goodbye. But it's also animated in the same style as Across the Spider-Verse, which is kind of cool. But yeah, it's stuff like that, and that's the main side content.
And I just looked it up because I was curious. The first Spider-Man and the second Spider-Man, according to How Long to Beat, they're pretty much around the same time, both for about the casual and completionist playtime. So I could definitely see that, hey, if the second one has more of that style of minigame, it is just going to feel grating because it's not, oh, they didn't add, say, these extra things that, if you want, you can kind of just, like, ignore, or you don't necessarily, like, you have to do, say, like, 2 out of 4 of them as, like, story ones, but, like, you're not, like, required to do 3 and 4 kind of thing. I think that probably would have helped, but it sounds like basically the fighting bad guy content got reduced, and then they put in more of this, and it's like, wow, it's not, that feels too high a percentage of it now.
Yep, pretty much. There are other side missions that do more fighting bad guy stuff, which is basically, you know, it's if you play as Peter Parker, and you have to go and take on who eventually is it's Cletus Cassidy, but he calls himself Inferno first, and then eventually he's going to become Carnage. That's the whole thing.
Is that where the third game's going to go? Is Carnage?
I assume. It's kind of teased, so yeah, I assume. If not a DLC. I do not want to see this game's... Well, we've already kind of got Maximum Carnage. We'll get there in a second here.
You think it's going that... Okay, all right.
I have to assume. Anyway,
yeah, if you're going to do Carnage, of course it's Maximum Carnage. I don't know why I thought it wouldn't be, but...
The way this game goes, though, it trumps Maximum Carnage. It's not necessary. Anyway, I'll talk about that in a second. So, you do these missions with the former police... Captain, what's her name? Captain Lee, something like that. She's this lady who helped you in the first game, and then you kind of fucked over her career by accident. And she ends up becoming a vigilante named Wraith. Brand new for this game and universe. She doesn't exist in the comics at all. She wears like a purple motorcycle jacket and like a purple mask, and she wields like a sickle and Gusarigama kind of thing.
Cool, Spider-Man, working with a cop turned vigilante.
And she's kind of a Punisher. She kills people. So.
Oh, cool.
To be fair, he is trying to make her stop.
Spider-Man, man of the people.
You do fight her at a certain point, actually.
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
She's trying to kill Cletus Cassidy, and you like yank him away, put him on a wall, and you fight her. Like fight her as a boss fight, and it's
okay. All right, maybe she's not wrong in this case. I'll say that.
She probably should kill Cletus Cassidy. Yes.
Yeah.
Considering he's like his gang of like ne'er-do-wells, like they're burning like tanker trucks full of gas and setting fire to buildings and all this shit, and it's just like it's Anyway, those are the random crimes though. The random crimes are what you would expect. Now, all of that is great. The Kraven the Hunter stuff, though, that's the bulk of this game is Kraven the Hunter until you get to Venom, because this is a Venom game. So Harry Osborn is Venom, just putting it out there. It's not the worst choice. It's actually a good idea to make Harry Osborn Venom. However,
I kind of see it.
Yeah, exactly. However, the problem with this Venom is that like they just went full on big monster with this Venom, as opposed to like when Eddie Brock was Venom. When you first see Venom as a character, as a creature in Spider-Man, Venom is more of this like malicious like tumor upon Peter Parker's life, and I wanted more of that. It's a way less that and more of just like, hey, let's do this like big monster who's going to try and take over the world kind of shit. And that's what this ends up being. So the Kraven the Hunter stuff is essentially what Silver Sable's goons were in the first game. So that's just a bit of a rehash of that shit, which is not the worst. It's fine. And after they are mostly dispatched, you will be facing against the Venom stuff. And the problem with it's kind of a problem, it's kind of not. So the Venom symbiotes are way, way tougher than literally everything else in the game. And so when you do a random crime mission for them that just pop up in the map and you like go and stop that crime, you don't have to go and stop the crime, but you're Spider-Man, you should go and stop the crime. When you do those, now, you can normally get through one of those in like 2 minutes, maybe, if not less. The Venom ones pop up, and we're talking like a 10-minute long spree of like, like sometimes.
Okay, no.
They sometimes will send the giant Venom symbiotes around, and like they're big bulky guys, and they take like, you gotta like down them multiple times. And the enemies are like, they flip out of your way, and they also have spider sense and all this stuff. And it's like, it's an interesting fight, but it makes the game take way too long at the very, very end. And like, we're now, so this Venom isn't doing the typical Venom stuff that we know. It's doing the Venom King in Black Null stuff from the Venom, like the Venom War shit that happened like 2 or 3 years ago in the comics. That stuff, which I'm sure is fine, but I never read it because I don't quite give a shit about Venom, not in the same way that everybody else does. There are a lot of Venom books now. I don't know why. And the Null stuff is basically, what if Venom was essentially a king, more or less, and he's trying to bring his people to Earth and spread the Venom symbiote across the planet.
Okay.
Now in the comics, that's more of like Venom is going to stop Null, who was the king of the Venom symbiotes, from doing this. In this, it is just Venom doing this. So you get Venom with wings and shit, which is, that's one thing. Yeah, Venom can spread wings in this game.
Like, are you basically saying he looks like Spawn?
Yeah. With a long tongue. He's very licky. Anyway, yeah, so that's Venom. The black suit Spider-Man stuff is in this game as well, and that's done pretty well. I like that because you get to see, like, Spider-Man just go off on people and be very aggressive and angry all the time. There's a great scene where, like, so Kraven is of course hunting Spider-Man, and at this point he has the black suit, and there's this great section, and this is a testament to this because, like, this is a Mary Jane Watson forced stealth section that I'm going to give praise to. You won't hear this again. Where, so Kraven the Hunter and his goons show up, and so Peter Parker is Spidey's in the black suit now, and he is unconscious. He had a fucking rough one. He just got stabbed and brutalized, and the suit saved his life. And he's laying in bed, and he's just out cold. And then Kraven and his goons show up to like the area where you're staying. They somehow track down that Spider-Man lives in Queens. And I was like, oh shit, here it goes. And then, like, so Mary Jane goes down to confront them, and then suddenly Spider-Man's up doing his thing and taking dudes out, but in a very brutal fashion. And she's trying to call out to Peter again to like come down and like talk to her, and then you realize the symbiote has taken over entirely. And so the symbiote is like actually looking for its origin meteorite, where it keeps all of its cool symbiote goo, and as Mary Jane, you're following this thing around as it like causes destruction across Queens, and then eventually you find yourself deep into like a rundown like subway tunnel, and you have to. It turns into a horror game at this point. You're basically like hunted by the symbiote, and it's a pretty good section. It's very easy still, but it's a pretty good section of like showing you what can happen when this thing goes off. And yeah, it's neat. And these are scattered across these like forced Mary Jane stealth sections are scattered across the game, like they were in the first one too. But they also had a couple more of them because there was also Miles Morales ones too. But in this one, it's all Mary Jane, and she has a Simkaran stun gun, which is from the Silver Sable crew. And at one point, Spidey mods it to basically like shoot projectiles as opposed to just being a taser. So now it's a forced stealth game where you have a taser that can shoot guys.
Peter, I don't know. It's okay.
Yeah.
Maybe you shouldn't be making your girlfriend weapons.
Yeah, I agree. And also she inducts herself into like Team Spider-Man and is like, yeah, I'm gonna go fight crime too, I guess, sort of. As she does. I don't like Mary Jane Watson. at all in these games. Like her first, they made her a reporter, and that's one thing, but like she's just she doesn't work here. I don't get it.
We've had this discussion off mic. For me,
yeah.
It's one of the reasons why I just find myself very much not interested in Spider-Man stuff is after, just, for me, I'm talking decades, like I probably got earliest memories of Spider-Man are probably like mid to late 90s.
Yeah.
So, 30 years of being exposed to Spider-Man and just the like, will they, won't they, inconsistencies of they Peter Parker and Mary Jane. It's like, I'm done with it. I am bored of it. I am not interested in seeing it. It's the thing why I find myself liking Superman way more is that we seem to have hit this point of like, no, Superman is with Lois Lane. Yes. We're not going to mess around with this whole, maybe he wants a relationship with Wonder Woman or something. No, that the two of them together, we're done. We're not having this conversation more. It's like, great. That's good. That's fine. It's like, I'm not interested in the 30th iteration of, Spider-Man and Mary Jane are struggling. So Spider-Man's going to go hook up with somebody, but then he's coming back to Mary Jane. But, oh no, Mary Jane already found someone else.
What? That's crazy. Yes, here's the thing. So the will they won't they thing is more of a thing in the first game, because the first game is about like, so they had dated and now they're kind of getting back together, sort of. And the second game, in Spider-Man 2, which is the third game, they are at this point, Peter's trying to convince her to move in with him into Aunt May's place that he now lives in. And she has commitment issues. There is another piece of Mary Jane content, Mary Jane story beat that is still also very good, which is, it's weird though. So after Harry gets the Venomized thing, and he starts trying to take over the world, at one point he infects Mary Jane with the Scream symbiote. Now, for anybody who doesn't know, Scream is just another symbiote enemy, but it's a lady who is red and gold. Don't think too hard about it. Anyway, in this game, she's Scream, and you as Spider-Man, Peter Parker specifically, have to fight her across Queens in like a construction zone and this kind of stuff. And during the entire fight, they are talking back and forth about what their relationship means to each other. Because now she's like kind of unlocked. She's just saying what she wants because that's what the symbiote does to you. And so like they're kind of resolving their relationship problems as they are fighting, and it's kind of a cool idea.
I like that.
Yeah, I like it too. It's one of the best parts of the game. Again, it is very weird that I'm giving full credit points to 2 Mary Jane Watson sections, when I could be giving it to also the section where you do a sick ass boat destroy the fucking harbor tour with Spider-Man and Miles, like the 2 Spider-Men going around trying to stop these nuclear boats from trying to capture Kirk Connors, who has now gone full lizard because they made him the lizard again. Because that's what Craven is here to get the best of the Spider-Man villains to unlock their shit. And so he jabs Kirk Connors with the serum and makes him the lizard. And this lizard gets crazy big and powerful. It's a really cool. It's really, really good. And this whole thing is kind of you do this crazy boat chase against the lizard. Then you go into Kirk Connors' home, also in Queens, and you follow him through these subterranean tunnels, and then you get finally into his lab, and you're fighting him, and then you find yourself into a water displacement water treatment plant, and you're fighting him there, and you're pulling these things out the wall and knocking him around, and then he escapes, and you follow him again, and now he's just running through Manhattan, just destroying shit, and it's just full kaiju shit, and that's really good. that's good stuff. There are moments in Spider-Man 2 especially that are just like, that's good Spidey. That's such good Spidey. Sandman is your first villain, but you fight like big old giant kaiju Sandman. Right. Yeah, there's good stuff. Man, they knew what they were doing for these very small snippets of the game. Yeah.
Well, so sort of we should start wrapping up, but like looking ahead, what do you want out of I'm not going to call it Spider-Man 3, but the next Spider-Man? We know that initially it was going to be a 4-player multiplayer thing, but that got canceled. So presumably the next one will be some sort of a single-player game, whether that is a full-blown Spider-Man 3, whether it's more of a Miles Morales side content thing. But like what... it will be the fourth of these. Like, what do they need to do to keep you engaged, to keep it feeling like this thing is moving forward and worth playing, and not just you kind of going like, I've had my fill of these games.
Yeah. So here's the thing. The third game will definitely be a Miles Morales venture, just because the second game ends with Peter going like, "Hey, I'm gonna go on hiatus." Like for like a long hiatus. I'm done being Spidey for like a good while. Because we got Miles now, and he proved himself to be like honestly better than me. So I'm pretty sure I can step back and you're good. And Miles is just like, yeah, I got this. It's cool. Don't worry. Go be Peter Parker for a while. I'll still call you up and that kind of stuff. We'll go for Chinese food or whatever. Yeah. So Peter's still around. It's just like it's gonna be Miles now specifically, and he gets his own like redux suit with like it's got like the head sock situation, but more of a full enclosed mask. But you can see his hair. It's a whole thing. It's a decent suit, I gotta say. And the redesigns that they have done, like I do not like the Insomniac Spider-Man super suit redesign with the big white spider, and it just doesn't do it for me. But the one they do to do a brand new take on Miles Morales, yeah, that's decent. But anyway, what I'm hoping for, is that like A, it's gonna focus more on Miles. B, I really want them to like balance out the social stuff versus the. You know what? I want the social stuff to be fun. Like, these are dumb, fun, like, just guided puzzles that you could just do for, like, a little bit of story content. And, I mean, that's fine, but I want them to be interesting, be fun. I don't need to swing around, kick a guy or anything, or beat people up, but, like, if you're doing these things, I want to do more Spider-Man stuff. And, like, sprinkling in some social shit is good. Because that's literally what it is in the comics. It's a sprinkle of social stuff. And then the rest of it is usually anything but. It's Spider-Man fighting guys, getting in trouble as a person. It's whatever. Even Miles' stuff is more like that. So I would like them to, I don't know, really just tighten up the Spider-Man stuff. Like being Spidey and fighting dudes. Because like this, I didn't touch on this, but this game is the fighting, the combat is monotonous as fuck. There are 3 moves you can do to just knock out the majority of dudes. Yeah. Until you get the symbiotes. The symbiotes make it so that the thing you relied on the entire time is mostly at the door, which is actually a good thing. But because these fights are like that, and the enemies have way too much health, it takes like 10 minutes to fight each one. Fuck that. It sucks. But, so in this game though, the second you can get anybody into the air with an air launch, they're done. Like, they will go down in like 3 hits, basically. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but then you rely on that for literally every other enemy. And I will say this, the first Spider-Man, like Marvel Spider-Man game, It had enemies who were more resilient than everybody else was in this game. So the typical like air hit combo kind of thing was interrupted a lot more in more interesting and fun ways in that first game. And in this one, it's like, oh no, that guy is shooting at you. You better do an air dodge. Okay, cool. They can go back to kicking this guy in the air and killing him, and now go over here. And then when you get the Venom stuff, that there's a lot more to do with that. It's like, oh, the Venom suits won't just let you air juggle them. They'll dodge out of the way, and they'll try and whip you down the ground, or etc. These guys shoot faster, you do more dodging kind of stuff. But in the first game, there was that, but the enemies weren't just big sponges. So
what if they were big sponges though?
Like literally?
Yeah.
Yeah, then I'm fine with it.
Okay.
Then you have a design.
Spider-Man fights sponges. That sounds all right.
Fine enough. Yeah, just do that. But yeah, like this, I just want them to really understand how to balance these games a bit better. And that's the main thing. I'm not totally done with these Spider-Man games, but I am not going back to them. I went back to the first one to get through it, just to kind of like refresh myself for this. And I got so far into the DLC, and when I realized there were speedball challenges I had to do to progress the storyline, I was like, I am done with this.
That's
The
fair.
DLC, thankfully.
All right. Well, before we go, I do have just one last question.
Yeah.
So, how's the Nokia N-Gage version of this Spider-Man 2?
Oh, it's great.
Oh, okay. Fantastic.
Yeah, that's actually the best way to play this game.
Oh, makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Best way to play all games.
Yeah, best way to play all games is like on Nokia N-Gage.
Yeah.
Yeah, a pocket-held device made for gaming.
And for your phone calls and all that. Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
It's the best of both worlds.
Best of many worlds, actually. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, play this on your N-Gage. I agree.
Yeah, side talking,
Oh, I forgot about the side talking. You're right.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, we should probably wrap this up then.
Yes. So why don't you tell people where to find us?
On the Nokia N-Gage. You should go to our Blue Sky, which is at eifnir. Go there and tell us about how much you love the Nokia N-Gage, actually. Go to Spotify, iTunes, write us something, leave a review. Tell your friends about our show. Watch us on YouTube. Give us a like, thumbs up thingy. That would be nice of you. Thanks very much. Use your Nokia N-Gage to give us a thumbs up on YouTube. We all have them, so just do it.
Tristan, I was thinking about I've got some bad news.
What is it?
I don't think you can use a Nokia N-Gage for the modern internet or communication.
What?
I'm pretty sure the N-Gage would still be on like whatever was before 3G, and I'm pretty sure they've discontinued that network.
That's gonna be a problem. Okay, we gotta bring back the old network.
Yeah, no, it works off of GSM, aka 2G.
Ooh, okay, fair enough.
I don't think that still works anymore.
No, I guess not. Well, just play your games on that one then, and just basically use your home personal computer to like and subscribe to this video. Yeah, that's what you got to do. Then go to our friend's page, djdane.com. This guy that does music, djdane.com. Go there, listen to his great tunes, and just, if you have time, teach him how to be a better graffiti artist. But only if you're a deaf black girl.
Damn it. Rules me out.
It's very specific. Also, Haley and Miles like get together at the end of the game. That is very cute. I do like that. I like that they become a couple. It's very good. Anyway, that's it. That's it for our show. Tune in next time for another Elder Care episode of Everything's Running is Ruined. See ya.
See ya.
You win.